Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting of October 4th. Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. And I'm also told if you have Comcast, you could go to channel 1075 and it will be on that. First order of business is the warrants. Entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $49,311.46.
So moved.
Second?
And that's Brian Keir's pay for last week.
Yeah. Be nice.
I gotta have a little humor now and then. Okay. Any questions on it?
Nope.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $175,596.16.
So moved.
Second?
The biggest part of that is a tech school assessment was $85,152.21. And the truck for the highway superintendent was $27,840. All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to enter, for the regular meeting minutes of September 20th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Any additions, corrections, deletions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Calendar announcements. The Board of Assessors will meet on Thursday, October 5th at 3:15 at the Assessor's Office at Town Hall. Green Committee will be meeting Thursday, October 5th at 6:30 p.m. Town Hall. The Farmers Market is October 7th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the United Church parking lot, and this will be the last one of the season, so hope everybody goes down and gets what they need. Scarecrow in the Park is October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So hopefully everybody will put that on their calendars and will join in the festivities. If you want to have make a scarecrow, contact, who do they contact for the scarecrow in the park?
The library?
Cushman Library.
Cushman Library. Okay, first order of business, we've got Jen Stens up for a Recreation Commission chair for giving us a spiel on a new person or a new position.
Yes.
Okay, you're up.
So the first one is for a part-time director position for rec because we've added a lot more programs to the town of Bernardston and it's been a lot more work this year. We have 7 soccer teams, so it's been a lot more work, painting lines, everything. We've now introduced this, like late fall, we'll have what's called Crossfire League, which is kind of like dodgeball with small squishy balls, and they'll be hitting like this big yoga ball, and it's been a big hit in gym. So we're introducing that as a new league. Volleyball, we ran it this summer. It was a hit. That will be coming this winter, along with the indoor soccer. So to make all this work, we kind of need a part-time person to keep everything running, because it's a lot of work for one person who doesn't get paid.
Okay, what is the, what are the amount of hours that you think this person would need to work?
So I broke it down by different sessions, which I don't know if I sent it to Lou or not. I may not have by accident. So like the soccer season, it's about 8 to 10 hours a week of painting lines, prepping those fields and getting them ready for soccer. And then that same person, which has been me, is at every home game to make sure that if there's an issue with the refs, they have somebody, a point person to come to. The same thing would happen for basketball games, indoor soccer, volleyball, all of them. That way there's a point person to be at the school and overseeing everything in case there's issues, which sometimes there has been.
Who does this now?
Myself.
So you're saying that I'm still not following. I guess I'm trying to figure out if you need a part-time director because there's too much work to do. Is it too much work because of paperwork involved or?
Some of that, it's paperwork, it's spreadsheets, and it's then sitting at the school at nighttime or at Pratt Field, being with everybody.
So 8 to 10 hours a week year round is what you're thinking it would be, or?
Not all the time, because summertime, it's thinner. So like July, it's only the clinic, so it's only a couple hours here and there. But, yeah.
So you think it would average out to like 8 hours a week over the course of
Probably.
the year?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
You may ask.
How many hours did we approve for you when you asked me to approve?
I don't get paid.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Nope, I'm not a paid position.
Cindy is.
Cindy is.
Well, we approved a position of director at the last
That's-
annual town meeting.
So that's for summer rec.
No,
Then-
you asked for it for year round and we approved it.
Then I never
I
got
wish I
one.
had the budget with
Then
me.
I didn't get known about it then, so I apologize.
Well,
'cause-
I sent the budget back to you
Okay.
and I gave it to Cindy, so they have it.
Well, why don't we do this? Because I'm a little confused myself. Is there any way that you could put together a packet of everything that goes on, all your programs, and we could sit down
Yeah.
as a group and just discuss it?
Sure.
We could have a meeting in the afternoon or something, and we could just discuss the rec department, where it's going, because it seems like every year we get confused on during the budget season as to what's happening, what's not happening. We need to get the complete picture. To see exactly what we're doing now and what is anticipated that is gonna happen in the future.
Gotcha.
And I think that would help, and then we could get this all ironed out and,
Sure.
because we're not saying, no, I'm not in a position tonight to vote on this. Of course, this would go through a budget thing
Right.
anyways. Do you agree with that, Ken?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you could get that together, get with Lou as soon as, what I'm looking at is, okay, these are all the programs that we do, winter, summer, fall, whatever. This is what the director has to do, or the assistant director has to do for all of these.
Yep.
Okay? And then we're anticipating that we're gonna have in the next year, the next 2 years, we're gonna be adding these programs. And again, another piece of that is, what do we do with Pratt Field? How do we maintain Pratt Field? Okay, because I think that's all in a big
I can work on
bundle.
that. That's not a problem.
Because we have like, we've been over there, the bleachers, the dugouts look like crap. They gotta be worked on. Some of the fencing's gotta be fixed, some of the fields gotta be fixed. But if we had the big picture, we could talk about it. I think that would help us all.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, so that's my first. So then my second go-around is the elementary school basketball court. So I know that there's been numerous complaints by the neighbors on that road about the loudness coming from, we'll say, 20-plus-year-old people hanging out at nighttime being loud. So, it was brought to my attention from the facilities director, the principal, numerous people in town have all come to the rec board. But the problem is, rec doesn't own the basketball court. The town does. But if rec takes it over to maybe fix a problem, then I would like to be able to put tennis back on the court, which has been a problem.
Who's asking for rec to take over the basketball court?
Gretchen asked.
That's the school's responsibility for the maintenance over there.
Right.
She's looking into fixing the fence. Chief
Right.
Palmer's been involved over there several times. It's really a police matter at that point.
Okay, so I was asked to look into getting like a privacy screen fence to put up to help shield some of the noise that come out.
Yeah, I think that's still something that needs to get the law enforcement folks
Okay.
involved with that. I know I've talked to Gretchen about fixing the
Right.
fence where it's all rolled
Yes.
up. She was gonna look into that at our last walk around.
Right.
Haven't heard back on that
Okay.
yet, but we haven't had another meeting yet, in fairness to her.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think something that Jen mentioned, one of the anchor sleeves for the tennis net has been damaged, and
was-
it's going to be a pretty complicated replacement over
It
there.
was filled in at least 3 years ago by a different administrative person at school.
Filled
So-
in as in,
So
Makes
it
it
was
unusable?
filled in with tar. So that means that somebody then would have to refix those 2 holes so tennis could come back, which would then bring back pickleball.
Didn't we look at that in one of our meetings with the school?
The tennis,
Yeah, putting the tennis nets back up. It's not as simple as just putting those posts back in. It's a big, much bigger project than that.
Well, how late is this noise thing going
Oh, and let's see, the summertime, I was at the school doing some work, and at 9 o'clock they were still there.
on? What time?
This was summertime. And I've seen them recently up there at like 7, 8 o'clock. Well, now it's dusk, and they're up there.
doing.
Playing
their-
basketball, playing loud music, being annoying, which I understand, but the people next door and 2 houses down have put in some complaints.
I know, we'll just have to get clarity from Chief Palmieri again on, I know he's been dealing with that for a little bit of time here.
But there is-
I've spoken to him, and he said that John Richardson goes by there, but it's one of those situations where they see the cruiser come by and suddenly everybody's on their best behavior.
Maybe
Why
he's
not
got
they
some-
park the cruiser at the end of the road and walk up?
True, and there is no sign, because I did check at recess time, there's no sign saying you can't be there after dark.
Well, that was one thing we had a discussion with him probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What the signs had to be for them to have some enforceability.
Yep.
I mean, rec is willing to help make
I mean,
it a better place.
It's a tough thing, because in the evenings in the summer, you don't want to tell people at 6 o'clock they can't go and recreate.
Right, so maybe it should be dusk.
We have a
'Cause
noise
then-
ordinance.
The tennis court's been there for a long time. I don't know who came first, the chicken or the egg in this case, but,
Right,
I mean, did people move in and the school was already there? I have less sympathy if you knew the court was there.
right.
Not saying we shouldn't have to do something if
Right.
if it's really an issue, but we shouldn't have to react to one person's complaint. This board hasn't received a complaint, to
Okay.
my knowledge.
No, and certainly if I received anything, you guys would be the first to know.
It's got a- and we also have a noise ordinance in the town bylaw, so if it falls past that time limit, then we can do something, but if it's not,
Right. In the summer, it's definitely gonna be later in the evening than
Right.
this time of year.
One of the potential solutions would be using the lot that, for the old Bernardston Inn. The lot right next to that as a basketball court. Put something there. There aren't any abutters that would complain at that point. We're looking to how to repurpose that particular
How
piece of
about
it.
you that they would prefer to play basketball at the school than
Because?
on the corner of Church and
They're looking to play basketball, yeah.
no, that's a piece of land we don't own.
No, the one that was gifted to us. Not the
I
inn
think that's
itself,
not
but right
Bernardston,
next to
that's-
it.
That's Foster's.
Foster's lot was given to the town, yes?
Yeah, but I thought you said Bernardston Inn.
Well, the one next to it, I was searching for Bud Foster's last name.
Okay, well, I think that should be a add-on to that meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know the planning board did a survey of town folk, and they're looking for activities in the town. And people want to get a little exercise, play a little basketball. It'd be hard to discourage that.
Right.
I have a problem with that. I mean, good Lord. And somebody who buys a property right next to a school that has tennis courts and basketball courts and God knows what else,
Right.
the gymnasium, whatever they call that, that's what they signed on for when they bought the property.
I get that, and I get where these people are coming from, because I've been up there and it's been kind of loud and annoying when they're playing their music late at night, so it is a little obnoxious. But when the little kids play, it's a different volume, it's a totally different situation. So,
So it's old people.
it's we'll say 20s to maybe 26, 27-year-olds.
Well, we can get some advice from Chief
Right.
Palmieri and
Right.
I think if we could even look at maybe closing it at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
you know.
During the summer, when the sun goes, the dusk idea.
Right, they could
Yeah.
just have a sign that says dusk, I don't know, I'm just trying to help make it better, but I mean, I also want the
There's
tennis
not a
courts.
sign on the building that said, on the building itself?
The building, there is
That's-
one,
So that covers the
but
property.
that's way over here, and
We had this discussion with Chief Palmieri once upon a
Right.
time, and I know we put signs.
so
up
maybe,
inside
if the
of all
sign,
of
maybe
Yeah,
if there
it's
was
been
a
a
sign
while.
on the court, maybe that would help some of this problem. I'm just,
It's
I
still
came
a
to you
detailed
guys.
dusk, but-
Right,
Please
Find
respect
out.
your neighbors.
Right.
Right.
Keep the volume down.
Maybe we can wordsmith something and Brian can order a sign,
right.
Right,
put it up over there.
yep.
If you don't like Bud Foster's place, how about the Pratt Field? You got plenty of flat surface there.
That's my next problem.
Okay.
Where you gonna put a tennis court there? I mean, that's your aquifer, you're not gonna.
Yeah, the water department might.
I'm not saying that, I just have some vandalism going on at
All right.
Bradfield. So, the opening day for soccer, I had 100 sheep running wild on the field.
Really?
So my friend CJ Spofford helped me pick up all the sheep poop. At that same time, on the top section of the property was supposed to be 2 senior fields. I had to then help have 2 coaches and some parents help me whip out another field because them running through it, stampeded it, made it not playable that game. Then the next day, the sheep were back, running loose again. Last Monday, they were loose again, and they trampled through the fields once again.
We'll have to get a hold of Mark and have him remove his sheep if that's what's gonna happen.
Well, I put this on the whiteboard. Brian Miner and I have been talking about it. He never came in to get permission to use that field this past summer. So what I would respectfully suggest is come next spring, if we want to allow him to go back up to Pratfield with the sheep, that some firm regulations be put in place along with proof of liability insurance, because I know Jen's also had some of her fairly expensive flags
Yeah,
got
and
trampled. And they're like $40 a piece.
so to
Mark
that,
Dupree.
Mark?
the fence is gone now, and now they got out again. But since then, there has been car marks up at Pratfield, and they have driven over the flags.
That's gonna be tougher to.
I know.
You're just gonna have to see
I
somebody
know.
there for
So
that.
now I'm out 10 flags. I thought it was sheep, which could have been some, but these guys are driving around. It's almost like 4-wheeler, maybe a small car. But
Probably have to. Now that's the area where the gas engine show parks.
no, this is right on the field.
So
This
then
is,
they're going in the main road.
they're going
to
on the
get
main
there.
road and they're driving around the field and they're smashing flags.
On purpose. Looks
Yeah.
like.
So I have 10 broken. I'm at $600 to buy new flags before soccer jamboree. So yeah.
I mean, I think Chief Palmieri has some of the portable cameras he puts up in trees here and there.
Probably have to get a camera going over there, but if the damage is already done,
Right.
do we need to put a gate across at it?
It's gonna be so hard, cause then they're just gonna go across the neighbor's lawn to get there. It's such a broad.
And I hate to
lawn
put a
area.
gate up because people do walk their dogs that are really nice people. I mean, CJ goes up there and he cleans the fields for me all the time and picks up the dog poop for people who don't pick it up. He's really good about it. But I mean, the town does a great job of making the fields look beautiful. I will say that. Brian's been working hard up there in his group, so. I
And
mean,
enforcement of the car is gonna be a tough one.
yeah, the 29th, I mean, we are sitting at 41 teams coming in
Wow.
for the biggest jamboree of a lifetime. So.
When's this?
Sunday, October 29th, and it'll be at 11:30 to 2:30. Yeah, we hit a record this year. Biggest
Yeah,
year ever.
That's just for soccer,
Just soccer. It's the hugest event I've ever pulled off.
41 teams.
41 teams, so that's kindergarten through 6th grade.
How many
There's-
kids on a team?
Bernardston's carrying about 12.
Okay.
Yeah,
So over 500 kids, something like that.
yeah.
And the parents.
And the parents, and don't forget grandparents come, sometimes aunts, sometimes friends. Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
reached out to the high schoolers, so I've been building my staff of my parking attendants and people to work at the event. So they'll be parking up in the same area they do for the gas engine show. And then Michael, my son, and then 2 other kids are gonna work the Prattfield Road, and that's gonna be for VIP helpers and handicap people, to make it easier for them to get into the field.
You're looking for volunteers?
Yep, so I reached out to high
It's
school
a free,
kids.
free advertisement here for townsfolk if they want to support this.
Exactly, to give me 2 hours of your time, and you can have a VIP parking spot.
And I will add that I helped out previously, I helped out big time last year. And having had my kids go through Bernardston Rec Soccer, to be able to turn the hands of time back and see the kindergarten, first, second graders on those small fields, it's just a great time. You know, we were blessed with some really good weather last year. I know it's been kind of chilly occasionally in the past, but yeah, by all means, folks, if you get a chance, contact Jen or contact me in the office, 648-5401, and we'd love to get some volunteers to help us out.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
we will see you as soon as you get that stuff together and get with Lou, and we'll get that meeting going, and we'll try to get things all settled. Town clerk. Chris, how are you?
Oh, good, how's everyone tonight?
Good. What can we do for you, Chris?
Well, I figured it would be a good time to talk to you about salaries for the incoming person, hopefully. I do have one person that I have interviewed. She said she's still interested. I'm not at that point yet to divulge who she is yet, but
Could you tell us whether she's a townsperson?
she is a town person, so, which is good. So what I have for all of you is a handout. Where'd they all go? I think I left them in my office. I didn't think well. All right, well, I have, these are the salaries that, Mass Town Clerks Association did a salary, survey, not just salary, just how many hours, and they did it for the whole,
You sent this
the
out.
whole state. I sent this to you, but then I sorted it. It's a lot more than that. It was most of the municipalities in the state, but then I sorted it by county. So these are just all the towns that are in our county and what the salaries are. And as you can see, my position is the lowest paid in the county of all the ones that answered. There's 19 municipalities there. So I just wanted to prepare you for budget season, really, in regards to that, so that we can figure out what we do need to pay. Or even if we start somebody, we're gonna.
Pay what Bernardston can afford to pay. That's the way we've always done things.
Well, I'm just saying, we might not, she might not take it if it's not
Let
a.
them go to someplace else, because we pay what Bernardston can pay. And that's
No,
the way-
I mean, I
that's the way
understand
it's
that, but
always
there's
been.
gotta be
And
some-
I'm tired of people coming in and throwing stuff at us, that this is what everybody else gets paid, this is what everybody else gets paid. But we're not everybody else. We're Bernardston. Sorry.
Well, come June 30th, you might be without anybody then.
Yeah,
And
you might-
you have
you might
a
be.
presidential election next year,
Yeah.
and a primary in March. And I don't know who you're gonna have run it, because I need to get somebody in here like ASAP to start training. I went to a 3-day
You sent out
conference.
anything to get, did you send out anything for?
Yes, yes. Got no response.
Huh?
Got no response.
No, put it out again.
I
Put it in
shall.
the paper. You got, I understand that Leiden just got somebody. So there's
Yeah,
people
at
out there.
$28.88 an hour is on here,
Well, you
what
know.
they're paying for 10 hours a week with no benefits. I mean, that's the problem, is if you're gonna have a position, a part-time position, that you're not gonna give benefits, then you gotta compensate them a little more, I believe. And I thought being partway in between some of these would be good. I mean, even to bring it up to the next level, the next person is $23.15. that's almost $3 more than what I'm making an hour. I'm just saying, I think you need to look at that and really think about where we're at with our salary for the town clerk position. Last week, I went to a,
We have increased the town clerk position so much over the last 4 years from what it was to where it is now. And we continue to move in that direction. We're increasing everybody's to a point where every year that I've been a selectman, and I'm not proud of this, every year our taxes have gone up. Every year. Even some years our assessments have gone, our tax rate's gone down, but our assessments have gone up. So at some point, we're gonna have to say, we've reached where we can reach, and we've taken enough out of people's pockets.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just making a point that we might not find anybody for what we're paying. And I'm just putting it out there that it's a possibility. I've only had one person be interested even
Mr.
that
Chairman,
applied.
I think this discussion should be in a special meeting with the Select Board and the Finance Committee, and we should have complete and thorough job description so that we can have a long discussion about this. It doesn't help to
Yeah, I
try to
agree.
discuss.
I agree.
Job description, I'm not even gonna go there because we have a very detailed job description of the town clerk. More detailed than any other department in the
Right,
sense
so we
of-
already have that.
So, yeah, we've already got that, so that's not gonna really help solve that problem. I don't know where the rest of these guys stand
I
on
mean, to
this.
Chris's point, I mean, we all see what's going on in the newspaper with town clerks
Yep.
in the Commonwealth in general. I mean, not the Attorney General, the Galvin, what's his position?
Secretary of State.
Thank you. He's even, I got an article out there now that he's scared to death of this upcoming election. A lot of it is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and what they require town clerks to have to do these days.
Yep.
It's driving them out of the market. I know none of us want to hear it, but if we want to get a town clerk, we're going to have to increase the pay. Or we're going to have to figure out a way to do these elections. Just looking at Galvin and saying we just can't do it, that's not going to
Oh,
get us
no,
anywhere.
because we're mandated, we have to do
It's
it.
like,
Now, that'll
that's
be your
why-
guys' decision.
that's why
because-
town clerks are all leaving all over the Commonwealth. I forget the number I had in the paper.
128 left since the 2020
Out of the
election.
351 communities in the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
That's a pretty high rate of turnover. I mean, they just had, I can't remember the woman's name from Turner's who just retired.
Deb
They've
Borbo.
done it forever and she's just was
Well, a
plain
lot of
old
them were
burnt out.
retired.
A lot of them did retire, but
Yeah.
it was broken down, that article
I
that
mean, I think we
shared.
do have to talk about it because it's real. I know we hate to keep going up with rates, but
But when you're
We're
the
gonna go up
lowest,
for rates, we're gonna go up for this one, we're gonna go up for everybody else's.
Yeah.
I mean, someplace it's gotta stop, Brian. It's
Yeah, no, I agree.
hassle. If we've increased so much in this town that, and people are screaming about their taxes.
then come and vote at town meeting. I mean, everybody passes the budget every year.
Now, you people
what
out there,
have
you're
their
hearing it
voice.
right now, we're saying, I guess what we're saying is that we keep increasing taxes, but you don't care, because you don't come to town meeting and vote it down, so people out there, we gotta start hearing from you.
Right.
As to what you want us to do, because things are getting out of control.
But I do agree with Jane, it does.
Things
a lot
are out of
deeper
control.
I
conversation.
think
Yeah.
it should be a discussion between the two committees.
and just
And then
to,
it can come back here to interview.
You bring up some valid points, you really do.
yeah, I mean, even just one more thing here in regards to elections is, this is a list, there's 19 initiative petitions that are out there floating around. And should all 19 end up coming into my office with all the signatures on them, I have to have someone sit down and certify every single signature and make sure that we do it all by the due dates, because
What's
we
that gonna cost?
mandated,
What's that gonna cost?
I don't know. It
Figure
depends
out,
on how
figure it
many
out,
signatures.
and figure it out, give it to.
I
Lou,
don't know yet, Stan,
and
because
have
there's,
Lou- we'll have
can
Lou
I
send the
explain
bill-
why
we'll
I
have Lou
don't
send the
know?
bill to the state.
I
You know,
wish.
we gotta start doing
I
something.
wish.
We gotta start doing something. We're just sitting here and we're not doing anything. It's the same as the legislators. They're sitting there not fixing anything. They're just throwing money at everything.
We do get money at the end, because in order to run our state elections and the presidential election, I do a cost certification after the elections, and I can determine how many hours were spent by each, myself and my town, my assistant, and I can submit that to them, and I think we got $2,700 this past year.
And whatever we got back, we were not allowed to put into her budget.
Right, it goes into the general fund. So that's why my budget has to continue going up, but yet there is money that comes back for these elections that goes back into the general fund.
When's your next finance committee meeting?
The 30th of October.
You wanna try to do a joint meeting with them that night? I mean, this is gonna come quicker than we all wanna believe before Chris is gonna.
It's not gonna solve this problem.
No, but we can start that conversation of increasing pay or not.
Oh, it is gonna, hopefully it's gonna,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
didn't expect us out of it tonight, did you?
no, I did not expect to solve it tonight by any means. I just want to start a discussion about it so we can all be on the same page, and I kind of would like to know where we could be at. So if this person is really interested and would like to take the job, or if she asks me what's the starting pay going to be, I told her what I'm making, but I don't know what she's going to need, because
Why weren't we part of the interview process?
because I wanted to interview her first to see
Stan,
if
I suggested that Chris be the first conversation.
Yeah,
It was
just
not
a-
necessarily a formal interview, but just to see if this person would be a potential candidate.
Yeah, I had her come in during my business hours so she could kind of get an idea of what goes on in the office when it could be busy and when it's not, and some of the things I do. So it just because some people might not, that might turn people off too, especially if they have no municipal experience. So,
But you know she has to take an interview with the select board, right?
yes, she does, yeah.
Do we wanna try to make that happen with the finance committee at the end of the month?
I'm in the minority here, so I guess whatever.
Well, that's
No
fine.
one's saying you're a minority.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying it needs
Have
a
it.
full discussion
Right.
without any rancor,
Yeah.
if that's possible.
What time do you meet on that date, Jane, typically?
6:30.
I mean, I'm game with having a joint meeting, I don't know about anybody else.
Sure.
Start the
Would
conversation.
you like
see
me to
where it
be
goes.
there too?
I think it would,
If in case you have any other questions or whatever.
What are we gonna exactly discuss? I mean, what are we discussing?
Get everybody.
I think the committee should meet first, and that we'll probably have to do this twice, and we'll have you come in.
Okay, all right.
So you wanna meet alone then?
Well, it's an open meeting, so you can,
I know.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so some of the other things that have now popped up as extra things that I have to do is I have to come up with a continuity of operations process in case continuity of operations plan. So should something happen during an election and there's an emergency,
Oh, yeah.
I need to have a document for the state.
Didn't we do that last time too? Or one of these recent ones where
We,
we talked?
that was
about
emergency management, but I need one to figure out exactly, and it has to be written and signed by you guys too. So I just started looking at that because I feel I really need to get on that and get it done. So I'm probably gonna have a lot of questions for Lou about certain things too, but, and that's gonna take time because it's a 50-page document that they want me to go through and fill out. And
This is.
Oh, it's a fill in the blanks?
yeah, they have it, but I need to do a mission statement, and then I have to, fill out
The mission is to
locations.
allow everybody who wants to vote to vote. Period, yes, the mission.
But
Who's going to read this document?
Doesn't matter.
Well,
it's still required.
sure it does, because if you just put X, Y, X,
And
Y,
this is
X,
what
Y, X, Y,
happens.
and
This is what
carriage
happens
return.
with my
if
position.
somebody's trying to justify their job in the State House, so they say, you gotta do something. Oh, yeah, okay, look, I got this form, let's fill this out. So I've done something. I mean, I am so fed up with this, what they're making us do, and it seems like people don't even pay attention to it.
Do you want to have a Bernardston tea party?
yes.
Well, it's.
I'll bring the tea.
I don't want a Bernardston tea bar party. I don't want anybody going off and causing problems. I'm just saying that the people have got to start voicing their concerns to the legislators that things aren't working And they've gotta, and they gotta start doing things instead of worrying about raising minimum wage to $20 an hour, where they've already got $15 an hour, almost at poverty level. So just keep throwing money, just keep throwing money. Yeah, we'll fix the problem, yeah. Hasn't worked yet.
One more thing as far as town clerk.
You're on a roll.
Lou and I, we picked out a new drop box because the other one is hard to get, so someday the Hawaii.
Same model,
Highway
same style.
Department- Yep, the highway department's gonna pick it up sometime,
Yes.
so we can get that installed hopefully here before the ground freezes, so we'll have it ready for all those wonderful mail-in ballots.
We wanted to get it done before the Scarecrow in the Park, because they wanted to do the cement thing down there by the monument at the same time they do this.
Oh, that'd be, I mean, they can do that part anytime, really, as long
But
as they
they're-
know what the dimensions of the box is.
You know, they have to, they're trying to combine the two jobs together.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, Brian's gonna try and get
That'd
that
be
done
good.
next week.
Oh, good, perfect.
we're right on top of
Because
that.
we expect there'll be a lot of mail-in ballots, because that's what everybody loved. Early voting, I have to have early in-person voting also. And last year for the state, I had 19 people come in the whole time.
So-
I thought
It's
they were
just-
gonna make that, a decision of the town, whether to have.
No, I have to
Early
for
voting.
presidential and state elections, I have to have it. Town election is different.
So what
So-
happens to your hours during that time?
So right now, what both Camilla and I are doing we're kind of doing reduced hours during our week now and saving up kind of banking hours so we won't go out of our salary range by the end of the year.
Yeah, but are you getting everything done?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because we know.
I'm not one for not paying people for what they're doing.
Right, no, we get paid for our hours that we are working, definitely.
Okay.
So-
And when all this stuff happens next year, you get paid for all those hours that you.
Yeah, we should be good. And again, like I said, if we happen to go over, again, our hours can be covered by when I do the cost certification for the elections. But then the money goes into the general fund. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but we just don't want people
So-
working for nothing.
Right.
So one more thing, and it does not have to do with the town clerk.
Okay.
The planning board, I tried reaching out to the zoning board of appeals a couple times because we want to work on some new zoning bylaws that we want them to be involved with, and I've not gotten a response. So looking as the town clerk, I'm not sure if we have a zoning board of appeals anymore. They have not met since 2020.
Really?
Right.
The
They have,
ZBA?
their last public hearing was in 2020,
For
so,
what? Their last public hearing was for the sign at Dollar General. Was that 2020?
no, Dollar General was in before then. They met before then for that. So
Doesn't seem
2020
like
was
that.
for when Mike Hall bought Townsley's building and changed things over. So I need some help connecting with them and finding out.
Yeah, can
You don't have Dan's contact info, do you still?
I texted
Yes.
him and I called him and I
Yes.
haven't gotten a response.
Who else is on the committee?
Mark Fitzpatrick, Jack Patch, Gary Cody, and that's it. Because Mark Peterson was, but he passed away, so.
I know, if you
So-
can't get a hold of Dan, we'll reach out for Mark, because I know he'll get back to us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's going on.
Mark might, I don't know where Mark's at. I can reach out to him too, he's my neighbor. But his wife had
Worth a shot.
So what they
broke her
want to
leg,
do is
broke her ankle last week
Oh, no.
in 3 places, yeah.
Not good.
and I-
She posted it on Facebook, so I'm safe in saying it, but, yeah.
Is Russell still on the ZBA?
Oh, yes, Actually, he is too.
Because he'll be here tomorrow for the Board of Assessors meeting.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Get that.
Yeah, we gotta find out what's going on, and maybe they should have a meeting.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'd like to meet with them and work on some bylaws in regards to a couple situations that are in town. And then also we're working with FERCog on some new bylaws for river corridor, the river corridor mapping and some bylaws there, and I think we'd like their input as well with those. I just think it would be good to work together with them.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
All right, you're welcome.
And I do appreciate you do.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the Public Service Advisory Committee minutes. We have these here.
I contacted Liz Kidder about these minutes because there's some significant typos in them. And she said she was going to send you a corrected copy. Evidently, she didn't. Okay.
Okay, they want us to approve these?
Are they significant typos or just,
Huh?
Typos.
yeah, they don't change the sense of the sentence?
Not the sentiment or the...
Yeah, and the reason for that, Mr. Chairman, is part of the IMA required both towns' select boards to approve the final meeting minutes for the advisory committee. And then
Well, so
we're also asked to take a vote on disbanding the committee.
So people know what we're talking about, and I'm gonna say we're gonna read this. And I will start off reading it, and I will go down to as far as the review transition, and then Brian can take over from there, and Ken can finish off with the motions to ask Bernardston. A duly posted meeting of Bernardston-Leiden Public Safety Task Force was held in the Bernardston Town Hall at 11 a.m. on June 28, 2023. And this is for the Leiden Public Safety Task Force, Bernardston-Leiden Public Safety Task Force. Present was Liz Kidder, Chair Bill Clayback, Jane Dutcher, Peter Nye, Chief James Palmieri, Lou Bordeaux, Ken Bordeweek. Audience, Mike Edwards. Meeting was called to order at 11:04 a.m. Motion to accept the minutes of the meeting on February 15th, 2023 was made by Peter and seconded by Jane. Vote was Jane Dutcher, yes, Liz Kidder, yes, Bill Clayback, yes, Peter Nye, yes, and Ken Bordewick, yes. Review proposed police budget for FY24 and ATM plans. Liz explained that this agenda item was accidentally carried over from the previous meeting's agenda. Both towns have approved the budget as agreed to in the IMA. The agreement is in effect. On behalf of the town of Leiden, Liz Kidder thanked everyone who worked on the IMA over the past year, especially Mike Edwards of the Collins Centers. She thanked the chief and all of his officers who have totally won over the residents of Leiden, even those who have been stopped for speeding. The quality of their professionalism and dedication to true community policing was a key towards getting overwhelming support for the IMA budget at ATM. Bill Clayback also thanked the town of Bernardston and its task force for the time and energy that they put into the IMA. He said this agreement has really benefited Leiden and is so appreciated by our town. Jim Palmieri noted that he has received the new police cruiser funded by the Efficiency and Regionalization Grant. Leiden established a police stabilization account at their ATM, which is the annual town meeting, and appropriated $10,000 at the start of having sufficient funds available when it is time to replace that cruiser. Additional funds from our two-town grants were used to purchase 7 solar-powered radar speed signs, one of which is portable.
Review transition from interim to IMA. This is the last meeting of the Bernardston-Leiden Police Task Force, and a new Police Services Advisory Committee is to be established with the start of the IMA. The composition will be 1 Select Board member, 1 Finance Committee member, and 1 citizen representative in each town. In order to have an odd number of members, there will be an additional Leiden citizen representative appointed by the town moderator. The committee recommended that the new advisory committee hold quarterly meetings and to expect that would last 1 to 1.5 hours unless there are any major changes or issues to address. As Mike Edwards explained, the primary role of the advisory committee will be to focus on the policies in the IMA, not to serve as a monitor of the police department, and to keep the balance in the formula to make sure it reflects reality and to make it cost neutral. Mike Edwards recommends that the advisory committee plan on a deep dive into the financial formula of the agreement to see if any changes need to be made at least every 3 years. He said to expect insurance and retirement to be factors that may change. Mike recommended that he review the formula and budget workbook that the Collins Center developed with a couple of representatives from each town to ensure continuity. Liz will try to arrange such a meeting. Mike noted that if the towns want to invite the Collins Center to return in 3 years to review and update the workbook, they would be happy to receive that invitation. Mike suggested that each town check with their MIIA representative to make sure that the MIIA knows about the IMA. That's the insurance company, right, Lou?
Yes, sir.
And how it is going to work to see that both towns have appropriate insurance coverage. In addition, Liz and Lou were asked to check with Susan Bovee to make sure she has checked on any possible conflict of interest with her working for both towns. It was decided that Liz would prepare a final set of minutes for this meeting and forward them to each select board, reminding them to make the necessary appointments for the Police Advisory Committee. Liz noted that she was being appointed by Leiden's town moderator and that she would call the first meeting of the new advisory committee, at which time an election for chair and clerk would take place. It was recommended that the advisory committee meet on the first Wednesday of the months of September, December, March, and June at 11 a.m. unless there is a major scheduling conflict.
Motion to ask the Bernardston and Leiden Select Boards dissolve the Bernardston-Leiden Police Task Force, to approve the final meeting minutes, and to ask each Select Board to appoint members to the new Police Services Advisory Committee created by the intermunicipal agreement. Moved by Jane, seconded by Peter. Vote: Peter Nye, yes. Jane Dutcher, yes. Liz Kidder, yes. Ken Borderweek, yes. Bill Glayback, yes. Review of police policies provided to date in Leiden. Liz noted that the chief has been providing data to the Select Board, and he submits good informative articles to our Leiden Life newsletter. Jim said that he had been receiving more calls for service and that Leiden residents seemed to be comfortable with him and his officers. Other business, none presented. Public comment, none presented. A motion to adjourn was made by Peter and seconded by Jane. Vote: Liz Kidder, yes. Bill Glayback, yes. Jane Dutcher, yes. Peter Nye, yes. Ken Borderweek, yes. The meeting was adjourned at 11:55 a.m. That's a correction. Respectfully submitted by Liz Kidder, Chair.
Okay, you've read the minutes. There's a motion, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as read.
So moved.
Second?
Do you want to put your corrections in?
No, I've already submitted them to Liz, so I believe her
All
copy
those in
has
favor?
them.
Aye.
Okay, that approved. Okay, vote to dissolve the Public Safety Advisory Committee.
No,
Huh?
That's wrong.
Mr. Chairman, that's wrong. It's a vote to dissolve the Bernardston Police Task Force Committee.
That's correct.
The advisory committee is the one you just appointed.
I'm reading.
So moved.
I'm reading what Lou's got here.
I understand, but that's mistype.
I'll second Ken's motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Does that work, Lou?
Yes, sir.
Good?
Okay, fire chief status. Unfortunately, we don't have much fire chief status tonight. I did testify on Tuesday to the House Committee on Bill 4064, in the acts authorizing the town of Bernardston to continue to employ Peter Shedd to age 70. And we will, I don't know when we'll hear back, but the answer is, my understanding is that normally everybody that was on the list usually gets put through. However, they don't know when that'll be, because they don't always vote on just this number of bills. They wait until they get more bills, and then they bundle them all together. When they have enough, then they have a meeting and they vote everything. So whenever that happens, we will have an answer.
In the interim, when Peter hits 65?
Peter is 65.
Right. So,
I'm confused, so they didn't approve that last year? Because he was.
That was Lloyd's.
Lloyd Grover last year.
Was this past year?
See, that's what I thought too, and I was told by the guys in the fire department it was the other way around.
And Peter was last year.
That's what I thought Peter was a year ago and Lloyd was just this town meeting, but.
We did
Everybody told me I was
Lloyd
backwards.
Grover last year.
So you have.
That's what everybody's told me, but I
Yeah.
didn't go back to look.
Yeah, I mean, you did Lloyd's this year, because I.
No, Peter's this year. Lloyd was last year, because that was the one that got pushed through right away, that whoever was in Senator Comerford's office
Do you have a
was
record of
right on
that?
top of things.
Did you check?
so the question stands, what happens if, when he does hit 65, and if you say he's hit 65, he can't continue to serve according to the,
Right, that's my question too. I mean, I have nothing against Pete continuing, believe me.
absolutely.
I think he should, and that was the town meeting's will as well. But is there some liability to the town of Bernardston if something were
Or
to
can we
happen
in
to him?
fact have him be our chief
Right.
if he's out of tolerance with the regulation? We could always have Lloyd be the acting chief until that happens.
You've submitted it to the state.
So
Yeah,
it hasn't been approved,
But they,
so.
it's,
Well,
till they say yay or nay, it's,
I mean, personally, if we don't know, I think my feeling is we need a legal opinion on it, just for the liability of the town of Bernardston.
The only thing that we know is that that's coming from Rachel
Rachel
Klein, which is, is that in Natalie's office or
Comerford.
Cumberland's office? Is that they know of no agency that enforces that rule.
that doesn't give me any warm fuzzies.
Right, I'm just saying, what if Pete makes a decision and it goes downhill fast? And he's not technically our chief, what liability falls to the town of Bernardston? And again, I want Pete to continue
Somebody
in this
gets hurt,
role,
somebody
believe me.
gets burned down,
Based on
somebody
his
sues us
decision he
because
makes.
he's acting as chief, but he's not chief.
I just don't think it's okay to turn a blind eye and say, yeah, the state will do it in a year or two. Just to cover everybody's butt, including the guys in the fire department.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Well,
answer to what I'm asking.
maybe you need to be asking Comerford and
We already have.
everybody else.
We already have.
True.
They won't give us any answer on
They won't help push it through.
it.
Oh, they've tried.
They've been
I
trying.
stand corrected. Lloyd was last year, Peter was this year.
Thank you.
I was thinking like you though, believe me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we're learning a good lesson here, is that from now on, this is gonna be turned in on his 64th birthday.
Good point. Do we have anybody else to worry about? Probably not for a while.
Probably not, but that's not solving the problem with the chief. Why don't we have a meeting with the chief and Lloyd?
Ask him to come into the next board meeting.
Next board meeting, we'll meet with them in the afternoon and discuss it. And,
Yeah. They don't get out till later now, but,
oh, you don't, that's right too, I forgot.
I mean, you guys know what we're thinking. I mean, just to cover everybody's butt. I don't want anybody to get in trouble, including Pete.
Well, legally, we can't vote to keep them on. We can't make that vote because it's against the law to do that. So we're kind of stuck in a.
Right.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, this really didn't, Stan and I had conversations about it, Brian, until you mentioned the
Yeah.
potential liability. Because don't forget, Peter is not one who's manning hoses or anything else.
No.
But going along with what Rachel had written earlier, it seemed kind of nod, wink, wink that, oh yeah, we'll get this paperwork done, but you keep doing what you're doing. But I think you make a pretty valid point there.
I mean, and as quick as Lloyd's was approved the last go around, I didn't even think twice
Well,
to even ask you if it was done a month ago.
The big frustration from this end of the table was Lloyd's didn't get filed until late July last year because it was the first time we'd ever encountered it.
Right.
I thought Chris was going to do it. She said, no, you have to do it. And then it was several calls to Comerford's office before it happened. But shortly after Labor Day, it was done. So maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's fast.
Now, if you look at the bill
Yeah.
that I provided with you, we had our town meeting on June 7th, got things rolling within a week. They didn't file that till August 10th.
Right.
So how is that our fault?
Right.
It's not, but we'll get sued.
Oh, and you're exactly right. But this is the state doing what, to Stan's point earlier, this is the state being the state, or the Commonwealth being the Commonwealth, as it were.
Okay, so why don't we do that? I'd rather have a face-to-face
Yeah.
conversation with Peter and Lloyd.
Yeah.
And really, the intent is to
Schedule
keep
something
Pete.
for an
I
afternoon.
mean, really,
Absolutely.
it's not, we're not trying to stir it up that way, so don't.
No.
Don't misread that.
Okay, we have some building use applications.
You skipped the vehicle.
Huh?
You skipped the highway superintendent vehicle, top of the page.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I just want to get rid of this first.
Doesn't like those yellow papers.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
The organization is the Cub Scouts Pack 3. They are requesting to use the cafeteria and/or gym. Pack meeting in the colder months, need an indoor space, some light crafting activities, and it's been authorized by the principal. The next one is for the rec department, and they want to do their annual winter craft fair, vendors craft fair, with the crafters pay for booths and rental spot, all school groups free, they get the free spot. And that's Saturday, December 2nd, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your pleasure, gentlemen.
That was signed off by the principal too.
Been signed off by the principal.
I would move that we approve those two requests.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we have here we'll go back to being on track like we should be. The highway superintendent vehicle. This item was placed on the agenda to discuss the process of finding a truck with a snowplow. Brian found a truck and has purchased it within budget. The truck is a 2015 Ford F-350 diesel engine with 49,000 miles. The plow was included and showed minimum wear.
I believe it's a gas engine, Mr. Chairman.
Huh?
I believe it's a gas engine, not diesel.
He said yesterday it was a diesel.
He said it was gas.
Gas?
Really?
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, so it's a gas engine. Okay. Do we need to vote on this?
No, I think it's just for information.
Yep, okay.
We already voted to allow him to purchase it up to 28,000 from ARPA funds.
Town coordinators report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question for the board, should I start with the good news or the bad news tonight?
Always good news.
Start with the good news, I shall. The Heirloom Collective sales tax for the period from June through August has been received. This quarter is the best one so far, $54,331.75. In their first 10 months of operation, the town has received almost $149,000 in cannabis sales tax revenue. So I should probably end right there on a good note, right?
Right.
Until the state wants to take a piece of that.
Well, then there's the bad news. The Cannabis Control Commission, who I personally, well, I'm going to leave my personal feelings out of it because Mama said, if you don't have something nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. They approved their set of previously known as draft regulations. Major portion of that affects existing host community agreements. So on September 22nd, they approved their final regulations on host community agreements and municipal equity. The draft regulations go beyond legislative intent of last year's legislation and do apply retroactively to existing host community agreements. Constitutional tenets protect existing contracts from statutory encroachment, and these regulations, as currently approved, do invite substantial litigation. Now, I know budget time is always, it seems like our town council annual budget fee increases, but the width and the breadth of what these potential litigations are going to be with the state are something that Bernardston would go out on a limb and say we can't afford to approach that. Our best bet at this point is to hope that a more affluent community would deal with the constitutionality or lack thereof and really challenge these, because it's very clear that the Cannabis Control Commission has really overstepped their authority. And that's that. I did speak, I know last week or 2 weeks ago we talked a little bit about the landfill solar project. I spoke with Ryan Fahey from Amoresco regarding that project. He told me that their council provided Donna with a revised lease. Donna told me in a subsequent conversation that she hasn't received a new lease. So there we are. Fahey also put a lot of blame on Eversource for dragging their feet with various interconnection studies that would delay the project by close to another year. I followed up with project manager Dan Ingold to ask his opinion about what I was told. He said that he would follow up with his sources at Eversource and try and determine if in fact that is the true story of what's going on. So in the meantime, and Chair of the Green Committee would probably be interested to know that
I wasn't aware that you had a conversation with Peggy, but.
It was just a few days ago.
So we're pretty much back to square one, I think, is really what it all adds up to.
Okay, hold on.
Well, we're conveniently having a meeting tomorrow night, so.
So Donna has not received the paperwork?
Correct.
Did you ask him to send you a copy?
He did after our conversation.
So you have a copy now?
Yes,
Yeah, why don't you send that copy to Donna?
I did.
This
Can we-
conversation goes back with Lou and I and Ryan back from February and March.
Yeah,
When we had
this
a
goes,
closed door
yeah.
with Donna, talking to their
Can the Green
council.
Committee look at that contract tomorrow?
The one he sent back?
Yep.
Sure.
Don't you think we should?
You're not gonna understand any of it though. It's all,
I would understand the wherefores.
it's all legal terms that
Yeah.
this statute and that statute and the other statute.
Yeah, the meeting that Brian and I had with Donna back in the early spring, she clearly told me on the phone that the version of the lease that they had originally proposed, which was so one-sided in Amoresco's favor, that there were so many things wrong with it that she couldn't convey all of the faults with it in a simple phone call or an email. So she came in and we sat with her for, Brian, 2 hours?
Yep.
And-
It's just the legalese, there's no dollars in there of any kind.
Right.
It's
seeing
just-
So she looked up every citing of Mass General Law and told you why it didn't apply.
Yep. She redlined it, went back to them, they were supposed to redline it, and then we left it with Ryan, that the three of us were gonna stay out of it, meaning Lou, I, and Ryan, and the attorneys were gonna work it out.
Yep.
Is Amoresco the only game in town?
It was one that went out to bid on this project.
Yeah.
They were the ones that won the bid.
Yeah, they were the better one, but I'm wondering if we should look at the next one if they
Well, we'd have to get a legal opinion on that as to how long we have to wait to do that too.
Right.
Well, and whether it's still good, it's been.
Right.
Exactly.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have to go back to the RFP.
Personally, I'm not hopeful it's gonna work out with Amoresco.
I'd just be curious to know how many of their sightings changed from the first document to this one.
Yeah, Donna would have to tell you that.
Okay.
This doesn't sound like a partner we want to do business with.
Well, and I believe they came in for a kickoff
They came in
meeting.
with all the suits in here for a kickoff.
Yeah, and that
meeting.
was, I think, November of 21, 2 years
A
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah. Last but not least, I hate to, I should have saved the good news for last. Randy Crozier from the COGS Health Department called me yesterday to let me know that he was making the rounds what should have been a pretty easy one-off over at a craft fair at Kringle and Hitchcock this past weekend. He knew of one licensed vendor who was going to be there, prepares everything in a commercial kitchen, and he said he just thought it was going to be a hi, how are you kind of visit. When he got there, he saw several unlicensed vendors and had to shut them down for various food prep inadequacies. He told me that he followed up with Geneva Peterson, who understood where he was coming from, and unfortunately there were several disappointed vendors there. So in case you hear anything through the grapevine, yes, that happened this past weekend.
That's disappointing.
I will close on a good note. Karen Kelly, sitting to my right, office assistant, has been with us for a few weeks now and has been doing a terrific job. So there, I did find something good to
There you
close
go.
with.
And thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
She still hasn't sung her initiation song yet.
Right,
holding
but
out.
Were you able to find out anything about that pergola thing up in?
Nothing concrete yet. Still talking to several different people.
Okay.
So you spoke to Randy Crozier. He's not the point person on the property that has
Brattleboro Road?
Brattleboro Road.
Yes, he is. And we did touch on that briefly. Thank you for reminding me. He claims that no one's living in the trailer now, so it's not a housing issue. And how this whole thing got started a couple of years ago was Chief Palmieri didn't want to deal with potentially an unregistered vehicle. So now it's gone through Jim Hawkins, back to Randy. Randy and Kurt from the CPHS have been dealing with it for over a year at this point. And now Randy says that because there's nobody living there, it's not necessarily a housing issue, but he suggests it go back to Jim Palmieri to see if it's a registered trailer. And
Can we invite Randy to a select board meeting?
Yes.
most definitely. Most definitely.
And feel free to invite the Board of Health if you want to.
Yeah, I know Stan had mentioned going to the September Board of Health meeting,
I got canceled.
which ended up canceled because the CPHS was going elsewhere that day. We should have had a Board of Health meeting scheduled for tomorrow, but the chair couldn't make it, so there's not been a meeting scheduled for October. I asked if we could perhaps schedule one, because they like to meet the first Thursday of the month, if we could meet either next week or the week after to try and really not lose any momentum here. But it's just been very frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for you guys as it is for me, because this has been going on for, what, Stan, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta do something about the unregistered vehicles too. There's a bunch of them up there now.
Yes, there are.
Huh?
You can't lose momentum when you're not moving.
We pay a lot
That would
of
be
money.
going backwards.
Lot of money
Trying to be
to come.
optimistic.
There you go. You're spinning it. We haven't made any progress on this.
Okay, we need to find out what we're gonna be doing about the unregistered vehicles. I'll say that again, no?
And it's going to come full circle. It's going to go back to Jim.
Okay, I'll tell Jimmy he's gotta start working on it. He's gotta start working on the unregistered vehicle thing. That's a bylaw for the town. we have that, so we'll start taking whatever action we have to. What's that?
There are 3 unregistered
There's more than
vehicles.
that. There's more than that.
Well, at least 3. I can,
You're only allowed one, I believe. on
There's
your
more than
property.
that. Beside the trailer, if you look at beside the trailer, there's an old Jeep thing up there, and there's another one beside that one. And then beside the house, there's 2 or 3 over there. So, I mean, we've been working with these folks for a long time. They've just been ignoring it. So now it's time to take whatever action we have to take and move forward. It costs us legal fees, we gave legal fees. But something's gotta happen.
I believe in the zoning bylaws, there was a $100 a day fine.
oof.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look all that up. And could you
Violation.
do that for us, Karen? Look up between the zoning bylaws and the regular town bylaws, what the rules and regulations are for unregistered vehicles, along with their fees. Okay, anything else, gentlemen? I'll apologize for my rant earlier, but I'm just getting totally frustrated and not knowing where we're gonna go as a town, because I see tougher times coming, not easier times, and every year we say, well, maybe it might get better, but it's not getting better. It's getting harder and harder to finance things, it's getting harder and harder for people to stay in their homes, it's getting harder and harder for people to, gonna be paying for their heat and oil this year. And I know that there's programs out there for people that make way, way, way under the minimum wage, but there's no help for the people in the middle that are struggling and have reached their limit. And now they're gonna have to decide if they're gonna stay warm, get their pills and all that stuff. So it's just frustration, folks, and I'm sorry for putting it out there and showing it at a meeting. That's not the proper way to do things. But anyways, I'll get better.
I have a question for Chris. The open positions on committees, could you give us just a rundown of open positions for the town committees? Can you tell us, we've got the public listing, what is?
Oh, I'm not prepared.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we have very many open positions.
Is it possible to put a list on the website?
Yeah.
If someone was interested, they could look there to see if what they wanted to volunteer some time?
I know we got 2 on the finance committee.
No.
No, you gotta go?
I sent a message to our town moderator today asking him to appoint, I better wait for the appointment before I announce the name.
To appoint someone.
Appoint someone to the finance committee,
That's good.
which at the moment would then bring us to 5 members. But
Excellent.
I don't know how long that's gonna last. I'm gonna be losing one, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Is it fair to ask, is this the person that was referred by Council on Aging?
Yes,
Very talented person. We'd be lucky.
yeah.
That'd be great.
I was very comfortable with her, but I don't want to discuss it until we can.
That's great. So we're full.
Until we can.
Okay.
That's all for me.
That's it?
You got anything?
Nope.
Motion to close the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, folks.